have found the Genesis frequency. This is Dr. Stephen J. Kosmyna welcoming you in to another episode of a show that focuses on your whole life prosperity and success. Whole life prosperity and success by cooperating with the universal laws that are available to each and every one of us. This is Quantum Leap Goal Achievement, radical personal transformation, whole life prosperity and success. Now, stay tuned for another exciting episode that'll move the needle in your life from where you are now to where you want to be. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time of day it may be, wherever you are in the world, when you hit that play button, I believe you're in the right place at the right time. This is Dr. Cause and Effect, Dr. Stephen J. Kosmyna coming at you with another episode of the Genesis frequency. Don't touch that dial either. I am on location. I am out of my normal environment and away from my normal equipment to record today's episode. This episode right here, I am in Unity Village, Missouri, which is adjacent to Lee Summit, Missouri, which is I believe, southeast of Kansas City. So it might sound a little bit different, but all is well. And here we go. Let's dive in. And I want to thank you for joining me on this sacred space, this sacred path that, we get together and we align our thoughts, we align spirit and intention to awaken the leader within us and manifest a life of purpose and power. It's bringing all these elements together. So let's continue. Today we're diving deep into the transformative teachings of Neville Goddard. Now, years ago, I did a whole book, I believe, on Neville Goddard, a little book. And he was a master of imagination, assumption, and spiritual law. And if you're unfamiliar with Neville, he was one of the most profound metaphysical teachers of the 20th century. He emphasized the divine power of imagination and consciousness to shape reality. A couple of the topics that I talk about quite often on the show, my master's and my doctorate are built around imagination and the subconscious mind. So I just absolutely love the teachings that he shared and that I have learned from all that he had put out there. But today we're not going to just admire his words. I'm all about application and action. I talk about that in every episode. What is it? How does it work? What will it do for me? How do I apply this in my life? It has to be experiential, right? You have to take what I share with you. You have to apply it, and so you see it demonstrate. Yeah, this works. I get results this way. I move the needle, right? This is helping me make a quantum leap from where I am to where I want to be. So that's why we're doing it, and we're going to apply them today as I share these with you. We're going to explore 3 to 5 of Neville's most powerful quotes and unpack what they mean for your personal and professional development as a leader, as a visionary, and a spiritual being. So let's get started. Let's jump right in. Number one, I want to talk about is a quote. He says, "Imagination is everything. It is the very gateway to reality." Neville believed imagination wasn't just a mental exercise. It was the creative power of God within you. Think about that. What you imagine clearly, persistently, and emotionally, don't forget the feeling tone, you begin to manifest. You begin to attract it into your field of experience. Now, in leadership, this is everything. Don't sit there and say, this doesn't apply to me. I'm in leadership. Oh my gosh, this is everything. If you're leading a team, a business, a ministry, or simply leading your own life, you must first see the reality you desire, not vaguely, not abstractly, but vividly. I talk about this over and over and over again. As a franchisee of Leadership Management International, we talk about it within all of our programs that we facilitate. We might use different language. We call it crystallize your thinking, but you have to do this. You have to absolutely positively do this. Imagination is the blueprint, and leadership is the build. One way to look at it. Imagination being the blueprint, we create it, and then leadership is building it out into your world of form. When you take time daily to imagine yourself already living your desired outcome as a successful entrepreneur, the impactful speaker, the inspired guide, the radiant light, any or all of the above, you activate spiritual law to begin forming that reality. Neville taught that imagination creates reality not because it's a nice idea, but because it's a spiritual law, a law. You have to impress that upon yourself, your consciousness. What you impress upon the subconscious mind with feeling and repetition becomes expressed in your outer world. Again, this is law. This is not, no, sometimes this is law, just like the laws of mathematics, right? So let's apply this. Here's your leadership action. Each morning, pause and imagine your leadership vision already fulfilled. Hear the applause. Feel the gratitude of those you serve. Know that what you imagine with faith is already on its way. Got it? Go back and listen to this again and again and again. You need help with this? Reach out. Stephen, Stephen, at successocean.com. Successappointment.com. Get you on my calendar. Let's keep going. Number 2, Neville said, assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Now, here's where Neville got practical. He didn't just say, wish for your dream. He said, assume it. Step into the state of it. Dwell in the vibration of the outcome as if it's already yours. You got to move into the frequency. You got to adjust the dial, right? Everything exists on a frequency. So you have to assume the state. Now let's bring this into our world of personal development and leadership development, what this show's all about, what I'm all about, what my company's all about, what I do, what I teach, how I train, how I develop people. To lead from a higher vibration, you must become that which you see. That means you carry yourself, you speak, decide, and serve as if you are already living from your highest ideal. Have to do this. If you want to be a confident leader, assume that confidence before the evidence appears. That's how it works. If you want abundance in your business, assume the feeling of an abundant business owner now. If you want an abundantly blessed ministry that's thriving and experiencing revenue growth, assume the feeling of an abundantly thriving ministry generating tremendous revenue growth. This is the divine alchemy of transformation. You don't wait for outer results to change your inner world. You flip that equation. We talk about this all the time. You got to build from the end. You transform your inner state. and the outer begins to conform. This is how it works. This is how we quantum leap. You transform your inner state, and the outer begins to conform. You start to actually attract people, places, things, situations, circumstances that support. This is why I always talk about you don't have to know how. Because once you make this transition in consciousness to being what it is you want to experience in the outer, it starts to show up how it's provided. Neville didn't say, try to feel it. He said, assume it. In leadership, assumption is preparation. You're not faking it. You're faithing it. You like that one? You're not faking it. You're faithing it. Yeah, this is it. This is it. We're living this now. So here's an action step. At least once a day, hopefully more. Schedule this, right? Schedule this. Reach out to me. Let's do effective personal productivity for you and your organization. This will help you schedule these things into your daily list of activities. So this action step says, at least once a day, close your eyes and enter the feeling tone of your fulfilled goal. And you want to sustain that. Enter the feeling tone. What does it feel like? What does it smell like? What does it taste like? What does it sound like? What does it look like? If it's freedom you seek, feel free now. If it's prosperity, feel prosperous now. Whatever it is, do this repeatedly. Your leadership energy is going to begin to shift. And guess what? So will your results. All right, number 3, let's keep it moving so I don't go too far over today. Number 3, change your conception of yourself, and you will automatically change the world in which you live. By Neville Goddard, change your conception of yourself, and you will automatically change the world in which you live. This is why I talk so much about your self-image and designing that and writing it out and moving into it. So many of us operate by old, worn out patterns and things that we came to believe were true about us, about ourselves. And we couldn't be further from the truth. So this quote, change your conception of yourself and you will automatically change the world which you live. This goes to the heart of identity. If you want to change your results, your impact, your influence, your leadership, don't just change what you do. Change who you believe you are. You got to get that. Neville taught that your outer world is simply a reflection of your inner self concept. That's it. Your outer world is simply a reflection of your inner self concept. If you see yourself as small, little, nobody, you'll manifest that. You're going to manifest limitation. If you see yourself as powerful, resourceful, a servant leader, inspired, the world reflects that to you. It's law, how it works. This is critical. This is critical for leaders. You have to know this. You have to live this. You have to move into it, whether it's a small business, whether you're an entrepreneur, a solopreneur, small business, large business, corporation, you're on the corporate team, you're on the executive team, you're C-suite executive, you're running a ministry, whatever it is. Leadership is not about position or title. You got to move to clarity on that. It's about consciousness. It is. Right? Push back from all those old, worn out beliefs and know that this is about consciousness. What you believe about yourself determines how you influence others. It determines the decisions you make, the risks you take, the vision you cast, the vision you share, the energy you bring to it, the frequency you operate in and day out, the state that we just talked about that you live in. So you want to ask yourself, who are you being? Are you living from your past and an old, worn out, limited self image? Or are you living from your potential? Are you seeing yourself as someone who tries or someone who tried? Well, good, I tried. I don't know. Or are you seeing yourself as someone who triumphs, who wins? We won. We hit the goal. We are a goal achievement machine, me and my team, right? That's what we are. That's what I am. That's what my company is. That's what my ministry is. Live in our mission, live in the vision. The truth is, your self concept, whatever it is right now, and I have plenty of shows on this, you can go back and listen. Your self concept can be reprogrammed. And that's part of the work I do. If you're not a decision maker in your company, please introduce me to the decision maker so we can bring this kind of leadership development training to your company. And if you say, well, we got our own internal, the stuff that doesn't work, uh, why don't you reach out to me yourself and participate in this so we can move you from where you are to where you want to be? So you can, your self concept, whatever it is right now, is really where your stumbling block is probably located. People have this idea, they have this paradigm, this programming, and you can actually release old stories and affirm a new identity in alignment with your higher self, the Christ within, your Buddha nature, your divine essence, whatever you want to call it, of what and who you truly are. We can make this shift. You must make this shift, especially if you heard over and over and over and again when you're longer, you're not smart enough, you're not good enough, you're not pretty enough, you're not this, you're not that. We can change all that. So here's your action step. I want you to do this again, do this every day. Confirm. I am a powerful creator. I am divinely guided. I am an effective, loving, and transformational leader. Make these statements part of your morning rhythm and watch how your self concept evolves. It shifts, it changes. You start to move into this energy, this frequency. Affirm it. I'm a powerful creator. I am divinely guided. I am an effective, loving, and transformational leader. Do these action steps. Listen to this episode. Listen to the last 5 or 6 over and over and over again, and you will make and experience a transformation in your life. Number 4 I picked out is faith is loyalty to the unseen reality. Wow. Faith is loyalty to the unseen reality. We don't do this for a day, for a minute. I tried that. It didn't work. That's nonsense. No, you move into it and you stay there. Here's where Neville speaks to our spiritual strength. All right, we're calling on strength here, spiritual strength. Faith, as Neville puts it, is not blind belief. It's not. It's loyalty. Loyalty to what is not yet seen with the outer eyes, but fully known in the heart. And I have lived this and worked this day after day in my life. I have seen transformation after transformation. I've come so far, and so can you. Loyalty to what is not yet seen. So we already did the work, right? We built the vision. We used the power of our imagination. We created what we want it to look like ideally. And we're loyal to that vision. As a leader, you must develop an unshakable loyalty to your inner vision, even when the evidence isn't there yet. Right? What do I say all the time? Absence of evidence is not evidence of absence. Things are moving, things are shifting the quantum level. Even when results are slow, even when others don't understand your path. They're going to think, man, you're nuts. He's living this. He's assumed this. And look at this place. right? You have to be loyal to the vision. Faith means trusting the process. It means knowing that your dream is real, even if it hasn't materialized yet. Trust the process. Neville was clear. The unseen reality is more real than the outer circumstance. And when you're loyal to that inner truth, you become immovable. That's the kind of leadership our world needs today. Leaders who are not swayed by fear, opinion, or temporary setbacks. Leaders who are anchored in the unseen, yet undeniable power of divine possibility. Leaders who are anchored in the unseen. Wow. You got to do that. You got to be there. You got to move into it. All right. Here's your action step. Write down your vision. Write it out. Be specific. There is a law of specificity. Write it down, do it in the present tense, and post it where you can see it. Read it over and over again. Schedule time to read it. Remind yourself this is real. This is happening. This is now. I am loyal to this unseen truth. I will not waver. As your action step, do this and affirm it. This is real. This is happening. I am loyal to this unseen truth. I will not waver. All right, let's get number 5. We're going to wrap it up with number 5 here. We go a little bit over here today. Dare to believe in the reality of your assumption and watch the world play its part relative to its fulfillment. I touched and alluded to this in the beginning of this podcast today. Dare to believe in the reality of your assumption and watch the world play its part. This is where the universe comes rushing in to support you on what you're being, the frequency that you are sustaining, the vibration you have achieved. And Neville ends his work with a challenge. So many of its works with a challenge and a promise. He dares us to believe. And I talked about this a lot when I just did a couple episodes, my episode with quotes on Wayne Dyer that I expounded on. Same thing here. Neville dares us to believe, not to try. You're not trying. You're not wishing, but you're believing. Okay? To believe in the unseen reality we've imagined and assumed, despite all outer appearances. And when we do this, he says, life will begin to rearrange itself around that belief. Now, this is what we could call advanced level leadership and manifestation. You are not a passive observer. That's the one that says, I wonder what's going to happen today. You're not a passive observer. You are an active participant in the creative process of life. Get clear on that. You are an active participant in the creative process of life. To dare to believe is to override the voice of fear. It's to choose trust over doubt. It's to act as if it's done and take bold steps forward, regardless of what anybody says, regardless of what the world says, regardless of, oh, you can't do that. Oh, you're out of your mind. It's never been done. Regardless of what the world says. When you lead from this place, doors open, resources appear, people align because you are no longer matching the vibration of the problem. You got to get this vibration and frequency thing down. All right? Really, people, places, doors open, things show up, resources appear, circumstances change, situations arrive. People align with the vision because you're no longer matching the vibration of the problem. You stay and match the problem. I talk about that all the time. Standing in the puddle, complaining that your feet are wet and not moving, you're remaining in the problem. Everybody pokes it around. You're poking it with a stick. That's report card syndrome or balance sheet syndrome. Get out of that. You have to match the vibration of the fulfilled solution. So you design it, go back to the beginning, design it in imagination. Neville teaches that when you live from the end, the means will appear. That's true leadership. That's true creation. And I've proved this in my life. And I do over and over and over again. We can do that with you and your company as well. Reach out. So here's your action step. Take one action today that aligns with your vision. Even if it feels premature, make the call, write the offer, do the proposal, speak the truth, do the thing, and dare to believe that all of life is rushing to support you. Way back a long time ago, I was, my whole life sales and marketing, and I sold Muzak, right? Muzak and the voice repeaters you would hear in supermarkets. Attention shoppers, we would sell those machines and all that kind of thing. And I had a guy that just that you always have that top salesman. What he did? Well, we were told make cold calls. Go out there and cold call. Well, what he did, he would go in and you meet the gatekeeper and he would not get anywhere. And he would just say, "Hey, you mind if I look around? Because I'm doing a quote for you so we can get some business music installed here. I just want to look around and count the ceiling tiles." So he'd count the ceiling tiles so he could measure the square footage. And he would just go do the proposal. Wasn't even asked for. He would do proposals instead of just saying, "I made 15 cold calls today." He made 15 proposals because he looked around, assessed the situation, went to work. Take one action today that aligns with your vision. Even if it feels premature, they didn't ask for a proposal, but he put together beautiful proposals and sent it out. Then he had a reason to call. "Hey, I'm here to follow up on a proposal I sent 2 weeks ago. Did you see that? Did you have a chance to review it? Do you have any questions?" Right? Make the call, write the offer, do the proposal, speak the truth, do the thing, and dare to believe that all of life is rushing in to support you. So we're going to dive more and more into this. Neville Goddard's teachings are not just philosophy. They are practice. They are things that we can put into practice. They are spiritual strategies for living from the higher self, leading from the Christ within, the divine essence within, whatever you want to call it, and creating a life of purpose and impact, leading from your essence, that infinite potential that you are, that center. So let's recap these real quick. 5 transformative ideas. Number 1, imagination is your gateway to reality. Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. That's number 2. 3, change your self-concept, change your world. 4, faith is loyalty to the unseen. 5, dare to believe and life will meet you there. And I'm telling you, take these to heart. Listen to this over and over and over again. It's repetition. That's why you know the words to your favorite songs, right? Because you did it over and over again. Don't listen to this once and expect some change. Listen to this again and again. Make some notes, live it, schedule it. Do these exercises. Take the application and action that I shared with you that you should do. Take these to heart, live them. Don't just nod and move on. Yeah, I agree with it. No argument here. Do it. Take action. Apply them today in your business, your relationships, your ministry, your spiritual practice. Do this. You were born to lead, not from fear, not from ego, but from divine imagination, vision, and love. You're designed to be that servant leader. Not giving people necessarily what they want, but what they need to thrive in your environment, working towards the mutual shared vision and encouraging them to build their own. You've been listening to the Genesis Frequency, podcast. Please comment, like, share this with someone. This is Dr. Stephen J. Kosmyna, Dr. Cause and Effect, and I'm reminding you that your vision, your leadership, and your life begin within you. It's all within. Build it out. Until next time, stay inspired, stay in the frequency, and I wish for you an infinitely spectacular day. Bless you.